I've told you many crazy history tales, but today takes the biscuit. Today we are going to find out what happens when Napoleon invades rabbit country. You ready? Let's do this. Yes, it's true. Napoleon Bonaparte was once attacked by a horde of rabbits. It sounds like a joke, but it's a real event from history that's both hilarious and unbelievable. So how did this go down? Well, around 1807, after the treaties of Tilsit, Napoleon had just made peace with Russia and Prussia and was enjoying a bit of a victory lap. To celebrate, his officials organized a celebratory rabbit hunt. This was a huge affair with hundreds, maybe even 3,000 rabbits, depending on who you talk to. Now, accounts differ on exactly how many rabbits were involved, but they all agree that Napoleon was in for a big surprise. See, his chief of staff, Alexander Berthier, arranged for this rabbit jamboree. Got hundreds, perhaps thousands of rabbits, rounded up, and then put them in cages near a meadow outside of town. Then he invited Napoleon and his top military men to come out and hunt them. It should have been a day of fun, food, and relaxation for Napoleon and his exhausted staff. Hunting rabbits seemed like the perfect way to enjoy some quality time together, outside of the pressures of war. So the next day, the men showed up with their guns and dogs ready for a good time. And that's when things went horribly wrong. See, these rabbits weren't wild animals. They were mostly tame, farm-raised bunnies, and that's the key to this disaster. As soon as Berthier gave the signal, the cages were opened and the rabbits were supposed to run away, so the hunters could chase them down and shoot them. But instead, the rabbits ran straight towards Napoleon and his men. Why? Well, because tame rabbits associate humans with food. You see, farm rabbits are used to humans bringing them food and water. So when they saw Napoleon striding towards them, they thought he was there to feed them. So instead of running away, they ran towards him. The next few minutes were sheer pandemonium. The rabbits swarmed Napoleon, crawling over his boots and his clothes. His soldiers tried waving them away, but they kept coming in waves. Soon Napoleon and his party had to retreat back to their carriages. They literally had to be chased away by rabbits. So why does this story matter? Why is it worth telling almost 200 years later? Well, it's a great example of how even the greatest leaders can be undone by the smallest creatures. But more importantly, it's just a plain weird. It's not every day that Napoleon gets mobbed by bunnies. I'm sure there's no deep hidden meaning behind the story. There's no subtle commentary about the French army's incompetence or the horrors of war. It's just a bunch of rabbits attacking a guy. But sometimes that's all we need. We all live such stressful lives, and it's nice to take a break and hear a fun, wacky story from history. This incident became something of an inside joke among Napoleon's men. Sure, it wasn't the most glorious moment in Napoleon's career, but it was a good story that made them laugh. After all, it's not every day that your boss gets mobbed by a horde of rabbits. And now, you know the story too. Hooray! Let the great man never hear the end of it. Of course, it doesn't mention it much in his official biographies, but it's well documented in many historical anecdotes. Multiple historians and military humorists have cited this story, including in articles on history sites like History Extra, Smithsonian Mag, and Mental Floss. So if you want to impress your friends with useless history facts, this is a good one to know. And hey, now you can tell people, hey, you ever heard about the time Napoleon got mobbed by rabbits? Then sit back and watch their faces as you drop this little nugget of historical knowledge on them. Now you're welcome. Now stay tuned for more videos.